Welcome back to Joyfully at Home. Now that we're heading into the Thanksgiving and Christmas holiday seasons, we're going to go ahead and make a recipe today that you can whip up and you can put on your Thanksgiving table as a side or as an extra dessert, even if you want to call it that. A lot of people will like to have sweetbreads at their Thanksgiving table, and that's what we're going to make today. We're going to make zucchini bread. Now, this is your simple zucchini bread. This kind of recipe, you can go ahead and you can put any kind of add-ins you like. I generally add walnuts. That's what's popular in our home. You can add raisins. You can add chocolate chips. You can even add cocoa powder to your flour if you want to make it a chocolate zucchini bread. There's many, many different variations of this, and you can add those right to this recipe. Just takes a little bit of altering, not a lot. So we're going to go ahead today and make zucchini bread so you can have this recipe for your Thanksgiving dinner. So we're going to start off with a cup and 2/3 of sugar. Now, mind you, that looks like a lot, but we're making 2 loaves of zucchini bread. So you can, if you have a large gathering for Thanksgiving, you'll have 2 full loaves. If you only have a few people or your family is smaller, you can easily wrap one of these loaves and put it in the freezer and pull it out anytime you want it. Once the loaves are baked, you can wrap one, freeze one, save it for another day. But this is going to make 2 loaves. So you're going to want to make sure that you have 2 loaf pans sprayed lightly with either an oil spray, or you can butter them, a little bit of oil and a brush around. However you want to go ahead and grease your pan, but make sure you have 2 loaves prepared for your batter. And then we have a 2/3 of a cup of oil. You can use conventional vegetable oil, canola oil, even coconut oil, whichever you prefer. So we'll go ahead and mix those 2 things together just so it looks a little bit sandy. It's perfect right about there. You don't have to go too far with it. Then we add 4 whole eggs. Again, our eggs may look a little bit darker in the yolk because they are our fresh eggs from our chickens. So lots of times fresh eggs will have a little bit of a darker yolk, but if you have fresh eggs, that's fine. If you have store-bought eggs, that's fine too. Doesn't matter, just as long as you have 4 whole eggs. So we'll go ahead and get our eggs mixed into here, into our sugar and our oil. Again, just so it's getting mixed up. You don't have to go too far and you don't have to beat it hard, just so your eggs are incorporated. Now we're going to go ahead and add our zucchini to this. We want 3 cups of grated zucchini. You can have a fine grate like this. I usually use my food processor to grate this up nice and fine. You can hand grate it with a hand grater too. Any way you want to do that is fine, just as long as you have 3 cups of grated zucchini. And even if you've had zucchini surplus over the summer from your garden and you've had it frozen, that's perfectly fine. Just make sure it's the right amount, and you can put frozen zucchini right in here too. And just go ahead and mix our zucchini into our egg mixture here. Again, this is a very simple old-fashioned recipe. Now we'll start incorporating our dry ingredients. Put in 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Then to that, we're going to go ahead and add a teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of baking soda. Make sure you get those correct and don't interchange those. You're going to put in 2 teaspoons of vanilla, a nice heaping teaspoon of cinnamon, and a 1/2 teaspoon of cloves. And that's literally all your dry ingredients. Now you'll go ahead and start mixing this in so everything is mixed nicely, and so you don't have any clumps of flour, any spices that are all in one spot. Go ahead and mix this thoroughly, and then we'll add our walnuts. Now that your batter is all completely stirred up, and you'll see you've got a great texture here, no clumps of flour, no spices that are all in one spot. You never want that. You want to make sure everything is really, really well mixed. This is when you can go ahead and make your additions. We're going to put in 3/4 of a cup of walnuts and stir those in. At this point, if you want to add chocolate chips, if you want to add dried cranberries, those are also wonderful. You can add raisins. If you want to switch this up a little bit and you want to make it a chocolate zucchini bread, which is wonderful. I've made it several times, and it's great also as gift breads for Christmas. You can go ahead and with your 3 cups of flour that you put in with your dry ingredients, take 1 cup and make that cocoa powder, with the other 2 cups being all-purpose flour. That will keep your dry ratios correct, but you're still going to get a chocolate zucchini bread. Turns out amazing. So, and if you want to keep it like this, that's a lighter bread, but you just want a little something in it, add raisins, cranberries, nuts, chocolate chips, anything like that that you think you'd really like the flavor combination with the cloves and the cinnamon. Turns out wonderful. But as for our house, we really like to keep it basic and simple. It's one of those staples for our Thanksgiving table. So I just add walnuts, and that keeps everybody happy. So we're going to go ahead and mix in these walnuts, and then we're going to go ahead and put our batter right in our prepared pans. Now we take our batter, and all we really do is just split it between your 2 loaf pans that have already, as I say, need to make sure that they're prepared. Spray them down with either cooking spray, or you can go ahead with butter, whichever you like. You can even take a little bit of oil and brush it around the sides, and you just try to basically evenly split your batter between the 2 pans. Try to get it fairly even so they'll bake in about the same amount of time. And then we'll put our zucchini breads in a 350-degree preheated oven and go ahead and bake them for about 55 minutes to an hour. They will come out perfectly golden brown and ready for your table. So now that your hour is up and your breads look perfectly golden like this, just quick test with a toothpick in the center, and you'll notice your toothpick comes out nice and clean. You can have a little crumb here and there. That just means your bread is nice and moist, but your toothpick is not wet. And you can see it springs back to your touch. So that is a perfectly done zucchini bread. And now all there is to take it. And the way I do it,